Okay. Oh, look at that. They've got the thingies. Listen up, it's going down. Splatfest, Deep Cut, Splatlands. Breaking news. It's time, Splatfest. Oh, I like Splatfest. Yeah, time to party. What's the theme? Hold your seahorses. The info's still downloading. I've got it. The theme is, well, that's it. Fascinating. Hurry up and spill it. You're hogging the Splatfest vibes. Chill. I'm getting to announce it. Come on, come on. Without further ado, the theme for the Splatfest will be none other than... Grass, Fire, and Water. Oh, it's a collab with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. With partner Pokemon would you choose? Grass type, Fire type, or Water type? Whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Too bad it's an easy choice. Grass type Pokemon are deadly, elegant, personified. Whoosh! That's the sound of my fire Pokemon incinerating your grassy elegance. Meanwhile, I'm just vibing and riding the waves. You know I'm going water type. It's not which is the strongest or coolest, which makes the best partner. I love that you can see the fire and the water Pokemon. I legitimately can't make out anything from the grass types. Like, I can't. It's just green. But water types are the best partners. Fins down. Except for both of you, I mean. Water types have the fewest weaknesses. How do you know so much about this? I guess some smooth, sleek, wave-riding creatures stick together, you know? Plus, we know he plays video games. I mean, his boss fight was a Sunshine reference. Whoa, you'd be a water-type Pokemon. You're not a Pokemon, right? I suppose my lovely sharks do enjoy the water. That's something. But no, for the partner Pokemon, the logical choice is grass-type. But I don't deserve the most relaxing type of Pokemon after winning both Splatfests. Wow, you went there? Yeah, Shiva, you don't sit this one out after all the hard work. Meanwhile, I'll be forging a bard with my partner in the fires of friendship. Plus, you can't fry without a little heat. Light it up, fire type, let's do this. There you go, thinking in terms of pure power again, it's cute. Wait, but what if we're talking power? Water type, drench fire. And grass types mop the floor with water types. This is why my power is a dead end. But fire types are strong against grass types. That means you're the best. Well, that's it for now. Sure get out there and vote. Don't forget your Splatfest tees. Check the equipment after you vote. And then we got the stages. Whatever. Oh, we got the new item, the stupid helmet. So, yeah. So, who am I picking for the Splatfest? So, oh, see, I can see them better on that view. So, I'll be honest. Oh, I should have pulled this up. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I had Twitter open earlier. Give me a second. I had Twitter open earlier for something else. Let me pull this up real quick. Come on, where is it? Because a long time ago, somebody made a thing asking on Twitter, like, what starter do you pick per generation? And, of course, at the time, I replied to it. There's the Zelda one. There's your first Pokemon game. There's a P.S. I Love You. Here it is. Don't remember what that link was for. I don't know. So, for a Twitter account that I'm presuming no longer exists, they did, which starter do you pick per generations? This was 2020. God. And if you look at my starters I choose, water, fire, grass, water, grass, fire. Water, fire. And for Gen 9, it's grass with Sprigatito. So I am literally, for 9 generations, 3 water types, 3 fire types, and 3 grass types. I am perfectly split. So, yeah. And it's a thing where I used to be all water. Gen 1, water. Gen 2, well, Typhlo. First Pokemon. I used Mudkip every time. Because I hated Trico, but I turned around completely on Trico. Piplup. I used Oshawott. I've actually used, I think Gen 3 might be the only game where I've used Gen 2 as well. I think, yeah, Gens 2 and 5 are the only generations I've used every starter. Because I've never used Bulbasaur. No, I don't think I've actually ever used either of these two. I've used all 3 of these. I've never used Blaziken. I've never used Chimchar. I've never used Froakie. I've never used Litten. And I've never used Grookey. Because, yeah, Black and White 2 is really what complicates things. That's why I've used all of them. And I don't know why I've used all of them in Gen 3. I just have. I like Chikorita. People give Chikorita way too much shit. I get it. It's not the strongest. I like Chikorita. I think it's cute. The middle form and Meganium are fine. I get they're not the most amazing starters ever, but I like Chikorita. People give Chikorita way too much shit. So, in this, I'm definitely not going fire. Yes, I like Cyndaquil and Typhlosion. Yes, I like Brixen. Cinderace is okay. Nope, not going fire. So it's between water and grass. So yeah, back in the day, I used to be a water, right? I used to go almost all water. The first time I ever ditched water starter, well, again, first Pokemon, right? First Pokemon, with the right? The first was Chespin in Gen 6. And then, yeah. And then since then, I've been kind of hit and miss. Especially when replaying these games. Oh, I've never used Trico before. I should use Trico in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Oh, I've never used Delphox or Rowlet before. Oh, I should use them. And my Sword and Shield Nuzlocke. Oh, I've never used Sobble before. I should use Sobble. Right, you see where my complication comes from? But, so I know this is just about the type. Right? Fire, grass, or water. But I'm picking based on which starter I'm picking for the new game. Scarlet and Violet. And I'm going to be picking Sprigatito, who is grass type. I know that puts me on Shiver's team for a 3rd time. And maybe I will never get to play Tricolor. I'll never be defending on Tricolor. But no, I'm picking Sprigatito in the new games because Quaxly's okay, but I don't know. I'm going Sprigatito. Definitely not my wisest choice. But I'm going Sprigatito. Alright, I'll minimize that page and we will come back to it later. God, we spent almost 10 minutes talking about that. So yeah, new Splatfest right around the corner. You know I'm excited. Hey, little bub. Yeah, let's see what we got. Oh. I do want... Yeah, we'll buy this pink lunker. Just because we don't already have it. It is the glasses we're currently using. But I think we already have 3 on that. Whatever. Ooh. Nah. I do not like a lot of the shoes in this game. Some of them are okay, but some of them... I don't know, man. The laces are just so weird on that. I know nothing about shoes. God, I hate how ugly these are. Okay, whatever. But yeah, we're making the decision to go grass. Definitely not my best idea, but I still think this is an amazing idea for a Splatfest. I've said it before. I said it when Tricolor was announced. A Pokemon Splatfest is an amazing idea. And yeah, no, completely correct. It is still an amazing idea. Yeah, because, you know, Pokemon just, right, starters, you got 3 choices, 3-player Splatfest, it just makes sense. There was a Pokemon Splatfest in one of the previous Splatoon games. I want to say the original, because it was Pokemon's 20th anniversary, and they did a Splatfest. It might have been Japan exclusive, now that I'm thinking about it. But I know there was some form of Splatfest. That sounds familiar to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of something else. But no, I feel Pokemon Splatfest, I just... Was that always there? The, thing being blocked off? I don't remember that always being there, but maybe it was. I was gonna say, did the game crash? That was a really long wait. Huh. Oh, it's our shirt that needs another slot. Okay. So yeah, Pokemon Splatfest, man, it's a good idea. It's a good idea for a Splatfest. And Scarlet and Violet's 2 weeks away. And oh boy, am I excited. So, as we're getting the shows, right, I know we've already been going for, what, 17 minutes? Almost 18. 18. I didn't say this at the start of the show, but, I have COVID. Yep. As you know, I've been sick multiple times this year, right? Because, you know, I didn't get sick for 2 years. And now I finally, right, it was catching up to me, right? Everything I had missed over the last 2 years, it was all catching up to me. And I was just like, oh, I got sick again, right? Oh, woo, whatever, right? Oh, this has happened before. And I feel no worse right now than honestly, this is not as bad as, some of the other sicknesses I've had earlier this year. Not meaning COVID isn't bad. COVID is still a bad thing. And it's a fucking shame it's a shame on this country that this still exists. Because people are just too fucking stupid to realize it. But, yeah. But I've gotten 2 vaccines. I honestly should have gotten a 3rd, but that ended up not happening. Because, you know, I got sidetracked. I really should have had a 3rd vaccine by this point. I definitely thought about getting one at one day. But no, I've had 2 vaccines, and so, yeah, it's not affecting me that bad. But COVID is still bad, you know, slow the spread. Don't try not to get other people infected. I'm definitely quarantining for, you know, the best I can. I don't know. Honestly, all my roommates are screwed. Because I was feeling a little under the weather yesterday, but I was like, this is nothing. Like, it could have been allergies. For all I knew. Like, it could have been allergies. So, yeah, all my roommates might be infected. But yeah, I've got COVID. Yep. And the only reason I took a test is because I can't smell. I can still taste. My taste buds are mostly fine, you know. That bit that you lose from smell is probably affecting me. You know, because taste is a part smell. But yeah, I can taste fine, it's just I can't smell. Which, whether that's the COVID or just my nose being all clogged up, I honestly don't know. I am running a fever, but again, I honestly felt worse earlier this year, and I didn't even have COVID then. So, again, get vaccinated, get the third vaccine. I didn't. I really should have. I didn't get a flu shot either this year. I got one last year. So yeah, go get vaccinated. Don't be like one of those cuck-servatives who, you know, loves to have women over to fuck their wives. Because that's all those cuck-servatives know how to do. Like, you know, Jerry Falwell Jr. I keep getting ads for that Netflix documentary. I don't need to... I mean, I'm sure there's something interesting in the documentary, but I remember when all those news stories were breaking. I remember reading those on the weekly. God, crazy shit, but... Yep, cuck-servatives. What else do you expect? So yeah, COVID. You know, COVID stream. I don't know, I've been at, 2 days now? I know it usually lasts for, like, a week, so... And maybe it'll get worse. It'll probably get worse before it gets better. I don't know. Oh, 666. Again, the worst part for me is just the stuffed up nose. Other than that, I feel fine. And, I mean, the stuffed up nose is causing, like, throat, right? My throat to be all scratchy and whatnot, and it's giving me a cough. But it's not, like, anything else. Like, I don't have any of the other symptoms, really. Because, again, the smell could entirely be just, I can't nose. I kind of can't tell. So yeah, I'm not letting it be a big deal. I mean, I've streamed when I was sick in the past. This isn't gonna stop me. I did almost name this stream, though, the COVID special, but... Nah. So I guess let's get into the actual show today. There's only 3 news stories. Not that many at all. The first one... So, when making the show, right, to see what news has been going on in the gaming industry over the week, there's usually 2 primary places I check. Right, there's 2 primaries and a bunch of secondary places that I'll, like... The 2 places I'll go to first, and then there's a bunch of, like, you know, like, things like journalists, like Jason Schreier, or, what other journalists do I follow? I mean, honestly, I can't think of it, other than, like, people like James Stephanie Sterling and Laura Kate Dale. I can't think of any. But I know I do follow a few other gaming journalists and whatnot. Well, yeah, other than, like, Jason Schreier. But, so, right, the 2 primary news sources I go to are Kinda Funny Games, who are pretty reliable news. I don't always agree with some of their takes, and they are mostly a PlayStation channel. They have an Xbox podcast, but I personally consider Kinda Funny a PlayStation channel. Sure, they have the Xcast, and the Xcast is actually a pretty decent podcast. I haven't listened to it in a while, but it's usually pretty good at what it does. Right? They usually know their shit. And well, yes, that's kind of funny. I don't know. They've always felt kind of... There's kind of always been somewhat of a disconnect between them and the rest. Even though that's kind of weird. Yeah, really, I don't really consider Kinda Funny a Nintendo podcast. Like, not at all. Oh my gosh, you were right. I thought you retreated, not come forwards. So yeah, I don't really... But, you know... And I only bring that up because we mostly talk about Nintendo news. But yeah, kind of funny. And then the other source I check on, which is the one we're talking about, is Nibel on Twitter. Or at Nibelion. A fantastic source for all relevant gaming news, who breaks stories faster than basically anybody else. Or like the second something goes up online, they post about it instantly. Right? Like, I've seen, like, in the past few days, people have described them as, like, an insider. But usually, like, you'll have, like, oh, this person is an insider at Xbox. This person is an insider at Nintendo, right? Nibel was an insider who was everywheres. It felt like no matter what aspect of the industry we were talking about, Nibel was there. And they knew news was breaking, right? No matter what corner of the industry you were at. They were really good at their job. And I use the past tense because on either Monday or... I want to say Monday. I want to say it was Monday. They announced they were retiring from Twitter. That they... And I didn't know about this. That they had started a Patreon. But people weren't going to pay for them to do the sort of news business. Of course, a smarter service like Twitter would have just hired him full-time to do gaming news. Like, honestly, having Nibel as, like, the official Twitter account of gaming news, that would be a very smart move on Twitter's front. Because, again, we don't even know if it was a he. He, she, they were really good at it. But yeah, they had a Patreon, wasn't working out. Even though some people like Jeff Keighley were paying into it, they just weren't making enough money. So between that and Elon Musk having officially bought Twitter now, and I don't have any plans to talk about that tonight. Let's just say Twitter's going to shit. I'll be amazed if the website still exists in 2 years, which... Fucking, Twitter is the primary social media I use. Fuck Facebook, fuck Meta, by that extension, fuck Instagram. I know Twitter is a hellscape that literally scientifically has been proven to make you more miserable. Like, seriously, no, they've done studies and found that Twitter, like, being on Twitter makes you more depressed. I still primarily use Twitter. But, yeah, with Twitter gone, yeah, it's going to last 2 more years. Because Elon Musk is already talking about having people pay for Twitter, and that's going to completely fall apart. Like, nobody's going to... Like, his original thing was $20. And then he was like... Then he lowered it to $8. And I want to say he since lowered it to $5. Yeah, nobody's going to pay for Twitter. So, I'm sure some new social media is going to come along to replace Twitter. It's definitely not going to be Parler or Truth Social or Getter or whatever fuck other right-wing social media account exists. Oh, wow, I actually got them. Yeah, it's not... I don't know. Somebody's going to come up with something that's basically just going to be Twitter, but with some sort of different gimmick. Because I know Vine is like a big social media, but Vine and Twitter serve different purposes. The closest social media to Twitter is Instagram. And I don't fucking like Facebook/Meta. Fuck Facebook. Fuck Meta. And their stock is sinking as well, but that's a whole other thing. Right? RT Games single-handedly destroyed Facebook stock. By playing their Meta Horizons world. Oh, God. But yeah, so with those two factors, Nibel has decided to leave Twitter. And it's just a massive loss for the gaming industry. Right? Journalists pointed out, like, the next day that, right, even journalists, like, Kinda Funny is the example I'll use, who do gaming news roundups, pointed out that, like, when they go, right, the following day after Nibel left, when he woke up that day, the first thing he did, I think this was Blessing Adeoye Jr., was like, the first thing I would usually do is check the news sources, and one of them was Nibel, so it was really weird to go onto his account and see that he hadn't posted anything. Which, yeah, no, it's weird. It's gonna suck. He was fantastic at his job, and losing him it's gonna suck. I mean, I know if you're not in, like, I know it was. I'm thinking of it from like a journalist perspective. I don't. It's kind of like how I think. Like Wario64 also does a good job at getting some gaming news out there, but I don't think of him as like a gaming news distributor. I think of Wario64 as doing like products and retail and whatnot. But he also does like every Nintendo Direct. He also posts all the announcements in that, as did Nibel. But I don't think of Wario64 like that, and I didn't. It's just, it's a great loss for him, right? Losing him, he was fantastic at what he did, and it's gonna suck not to have him anymore. He was a nice convenience that, yeah, while people weren't willing to pay for, he was still really good at his job. We're getting destroyed tonight. I should maybe put on the Splatfest tee just for the hell of it. Start leveling that thing up to get chunks. But yeah, so that's, I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him. He did a great job. He was always my pride. Again, it was him or Kai. If I was on Twitter, it was him. If I was on YouTube, it's kind of funny. And now it's just kind of funny. That's all I've got left. And yeah, I'm sure maybe someone will come and fill a spot, but it's just not going to be the same. Probably not anyways. Oh god, do I want a last-ditch effort? Ooh, maybe not. What even... Oh, that's opening Gambit. Okay. Is closing Gambit still in this game? Maybe that is last-ditch effort. I'd actually rather have a last-ditch... to be fair, that is as well. I'd rather have a last-ditch effort than I would an opening Gambit. And I'm fine still using the Flingza Roller. I'm pretty sure I'm close to getting it the next level anyways. So yeah, I'm just gonna miss Nibel. Raise a glass to one of the G's. He was one of the best. I'm gonna miss him. Or her. Or them. Because we don't know. We just straight up don't know. And what are they gonna do from here, right? Like, any news site would kill to pick them up. But I don't think that's going to happen. Especially because news sites make all their money off of sending people to their websites. And those websites are just filled with ads, right? Right? Like, that. There's a reason sites, Twitter accounts like Saved You a Click exist. Because news sources don't make money off of, like, people seeing a tweet. They can get people angry by seeing a tweet. But no, they make their money off of getting people to go to a website and read an article that has no new information on it. Because, fuck, that's what they do. Right? Like, that's what these news sites do. Because they get all the ad revenue, and they're just fucking filled with ads. Yeah, I'm gonna miss Nibel. I hope whatever they do from here, they find great success in, because they were good at what they did. And yeah, as like a journal, I know, right? Oh, they just posted stuff on Twitter, but like what they posted on Twitter was just well written. It got all the important details out. They were just good at it. That's what it all kind of comes down to, is that they were just very good at it. Really, that didn't. Alright. So our next news story is, so PSVR 2 was announced a while ago. It was announced, we didn't hear much about it, and then slowly over the coming months they've revealed the controllers, the price point, or the headset. They revealed the controllers, the headset. They revealed some games that were coming to it. But they finally revealed the price point. But they revealed some other stuff, but the main thing was the price point. So, with the price point, so that's what we're going to have to start with. The price point of PSVR 2 is $549.99, right? It's $550. There is a bundle of PSVR 2 that comes with Horizon Call of the West? I think it's Call of the West. Whatever the Horizon VR game is. That costs $600, right? $59.99. So that's the Horizon bundle. That price point, $550 and $600. Holy shit. That's more than the PS5. What the heck? The PS5 itself only costs $500. I know, only $500. The PS5 costs $500. The PSVR 2 costs $550. That's ridiculous. Like, I to be fair, I mean, I think when the headset was shown off and whatnot, I was predicting, I want to say like 400, maybe. I think I might have even said 500 at some point, but I was mostly thinking around 400. But no, 500, 550 more than the console. Holy crap. That's going to turn a lot of people off of it. That price point alone, like, and VR is already a niche market. Plus, you already need a PS5, which, as far as I know, PS5s are still pretty rare. I don't know, I can't think. I was just at Target a few days ago. Did I see a PS5? I know I saw a Switch OLED at Target. Did I see a PS5? I don't think I did. As far as I know, PS5s are still rare. But you need one of those, and you need a PSVR 2. So that's what? That's $1,000. Let's just say $1,100. Let's say you get the bundle, because obviously you're going to get some sort of game with it, because it isn't backwards compatible. That's a lot of money, man. Now, to be fair, I know other PlayStations, right? Other VR headsets cost that much as well. To get something like an HTC Vive or Valve Index, is the Valve called the Index? Whatever Valve's VR is with Half-Life Alyx, you're gonna need probably a $500, at least $500 PC, and a right. I think the Valve Index is also like $500. But that's so yeah. Other VR costs that much, but then you have stuff like the MetaQuest 2, which I know it recently went up in price, but the MetaQuest 2 is, I don't know. I can't look it up right now. I'll look it up here in a minute. But that's cheaper, and you don't need to have peripheral or hardware to do it. You don't need a PC or a PlayStation to play a MetaQuest. Okay, 2 out. That should at least give us maybe a push, if they can take out that bow. So yeah, the price point, I mean, honestly, the more I think about it, the more I thought about it over the past few days, I get why the price point is the price point. I still just think it's a lot. I still just think, for VR, which is already a niche market, getting people to find a PS5, which is already rare, and then spend the money to get PSVR is a lot. I'm actually, and then not having any backwards compatibility. Like, I don't always agree with the backwards compatibility argument. Like, I get why people want backwards compatibility. But when you have people like Yahtzee fucking Croshaw who come out and tell people to buy a Wii U and buy Breath of the Wild on the Wii U because the Switch doesn't have backwards compatibility, you're kind of fucking, you're being ridiculous, right? So, but like, I don't know, VR, like, at least Switch, right, you knew games were coming out. The Switch first year had a good lineup of hardware, right? Like, we knew a bunch of stuff that was coming out in its first year. For this, I think, so when this price point was revealed, Valve revealed 13 games. Here are 13 games coming to the hardware. I don't... honestly, the only thing I remember is Call of the West, and there was a Hello Neighbor game. Which, fuck Hello Neighbor. They keep trying to make that into a thing. Why are we still trying to make Hello Neighbor into a thing? Nobody gives a shit about Hello Neighbor. Right? Nobody gives a shit. I don't know why people... I mean... I get it. I'm sure it's making some money with kids, but I don't care. MetaQuest 2. $400 for a MetaQuest 2. And I swear that went up in price point recently. Yeah, in August it went up by like $100 or something like that. And right, that's just VR out of the box that works. So yeah, that's a whole thing. I just don't remember any of the games. I really don't. But I know there are... I might have saved it. Again, not having Nibel, because he would have had a list that I would have, like, saved somewheres. I did not save anything. I just remember 13 games, including Horizon. There was, like, a Gunslinger game that is, like, a sequel that I remember people liking the first one, too, but I don't really remember much else other than that. Also, whereas the MetaQuest is a wireless headset, the PSVR 2 is a wired headset. So you need to have, right, you need to wire it into the system, and there's a cord you have to keep track of. There are some interesting features to this, right? Like, I know the PSVR 2 has... I know the MetaQuest has, like, like mouth tracking and whatnot. But I think this one has both mouth and eye tracking. It's got a lot of stuff like that. It's got some really neat features to it. But it is still a wired headset. Which definitely does change something. Which, I don't know. It's... Honestly, honestly, I would say the price point is what killed it for me. But that'd actually be a lie. What killed it for me was the lack of backwards compatibility. That backwards because, well, that, and I did get a normal PSVR, but I'll talk about that in a second. Because PlayStation's given away a bunch of PSVR games over the years. I have a lot of them already. So, assuming, like, with the PSVR 2, none of those would work. I'm sure they will update, like, some people will update some of those games so that they'll work on PSVR 2. I'm sure there's a way to update existing games to get them to work on the new hardware. But not everyone's going to be able to do that, obviously. There's a way... Oh, is it like this? There's a way, and I don't remember how to get up there. Oh my gosh, they canceled it early. But yeah, it's the lack of backwards compatibility that kills it for me. Because I bought a PSVR, a normal one. Earlier this year, PSVR went on sale for like $200. And I was like, you know what? I have some money. I have a bunch of games already, right, that PlayStation has just given away for free over the years. I might as well, right, pick it up. So I did. And, well, I actually did play one of those games early, earlier this week, so we will talk about it. Because, you know, it was Halloween, so I played a spooky game. And we'll talk about it. But, yeah, PSVR, I kind of get it. Right? Like, VR's fun, but, like, I think I've got my fix from the PSVR. I don't need a PSVR 2 now. Because my original plan was just to get a PSVR 2 and play all my VR games on that. But now I don't need to anymore because I have a normal PSVR. Because I hadn't seen the PSVR go on sale for like for at least like 2 years until this year. But because PlayStation is probably trying to get rid of all their PSVRs before the PSVR 2 comes out, it finally went on sale again and I was able to get one. It legitimately might be on sale right now, as far as I'm aware. But yeah. So the last thing, right, with the price point, we also got a release date of February 22nd. So that's when Horizon Call of the Mountain comes out as well, presumably. I don't know if those 11 games they announced are one of them also come out on that date. I'm assuming there's some stuff that will come out on that date, but we just don't know yet. Disappointed Among Us VR hasn't been announced for PSVR. Because I would love to, because I know it doesn't come out until like next week. But right now, Among Us VR is only on Steam and MetaQuest. But I would love to play Among Us VR on PlayStation VR or PlayStation 2 VR or one of those. Because that just sounds really fun. Right? That just sounds fun. But no, right now there's been no announcement. The other game I'm surprised isn't on PSVR is Half-Life Alyx. And I've said this before. This is not my first time saying this. But Valve has shown a willingness to play with other... Right? Because, like, the Orange Box came out on Xbox and PS3. Right? The Orange Box was on systems. Portal 2 came out on... Portal 2's on Switch, for Christ's sake. But, so Valve is completely willing to put their hardware on other systems. I could see them being willing to put I could believe they would put Half-Life Alyx on PlayStation VR. But so far we have nothing. Again, that might change in the future. Right? Anything is possible. But so far, we have nothing. So, yeah, I really do think... Because there's Horizon Call of the Mountain. And you know what? Horizon Call of the Mountain might be an amazing game. Because really, when it comes to VR, VR is like any other system. You need something to sell the system. Right? Most consoles try to do like some sort of big launch game. Breath of the Wild. I know the PS5 had... Did the PS5 have... I mean, it was... They had Spider-Man Miles Morales, but I don't know if I would say that as a big launch game. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Honestly, I feel like I'm forgetting something. From... I don't know. Xbox had Halo Infinite, but... Honestly, Game Pass is a big enough thing that it sells systems without it. But, right, you need that big launch game to sell your system. Right? PlayStation learned this. And yes, PSVR has Horizon Call of the Mountain. And maybe that is as big... Because Half-Life Alyx was that for the Valve Index. And people really liked Half-Life Alyx. It got nominated for a bunch of Game of the Years and whatnot. So maybe Horizon Call of the Mountain will be that. But it also might not be. It's completely possible that it's just another fun experience that doesn't really have anything going for it. It could honestly go either way. I want it to be really good, but if they got Half-Life Alyx, that would be a big deal. I would again, I don't think I'm getting one regardless, because I'm kind of good with VR at the moment. The PSVR is doing me fine. But yeah, that's a whole thing. But yeah, February 22nd. You know, it happens when it happens. But yeah, I'm definitely more... I feel like many other people are more downtrodden on this on the PSVR since this. Right? I feel like people have taken a more negative turn towards it. Okay, let's see what we got in some lockers. Still waiting to get that pink plush. It's the only one we're missing, and it's never showed up until this point. Heh. That's funny. We also need the taller locker. That would be nice. I don't know when that's going to show up. God, oh, how do I... Look at all those golds, or those shinies. Alright, so our next story for tonight is about Pokemon. So this does kind of involve Pokemon leaks. I'm not going to put up the spoiler tag. But this was not a leak, but a data mine that has since been confirmed, not in a Pokemon, not in like a mainline Pokemon game, but instead in Pokemon Go. So I'll start at the beginning here. Well, not at the beginning. I'll start with this image. So yesterday, in Pokemon Go got an update, and in that update was the model for a new Pokemon. This little thing. Now, in the time since then, there have been a few changes, including this little thing that we're going to call Coin. I'm going to call it Coin. Shows up in the game now. That since there's been an update, and right in the game files for today, there were like these gold Pokestops, and when you went to and spun the gold Pokestops, you would get these coins, and it would write this coin Pokemon could appear following you. So this is a screenshot right from Pokemon Go, from the game itself. If you want a better look, we have first turned to Mad Zygarde, who we've referenced in the past, who does a great job, right? The new leaked coin Pokemon for Scarlet and Violet was secretly shown in the... So this was in one of the trailers. Last time we talked, right, we looked at Mad Zygarde Core's art. Did I say Cell? I meant Core. Last time we looked at their art, we talked about this, right? How we had seen this thing in the background. We didn't entirely know what it looked like, right? It had the dowsing rod's ears. But now we know what it looks like. I don't know the typing of this strange looking thing, but it's cool though, in my opinion. So this is art, right? This is basically just because we don't have official artwork yet. We just literally have that and some other 3D models that have been data mined. But I wanted to get some actual artwork from, a pretty good artist who's just does fantastic. I don't follow them on Twitter. I really should. They do great work. Boom. Yeah, they do great work. This is, the fourth time I've used their art? So yeah, this is what it looks like. I honestly kind of like it. It's very alien. But Pokemon, when it comes to aliens, I don't really like Pokemon's aliens. You have LDM and Behem, which are like very explicitly like alien Pokemon. Okay. But other than that, I mean, you have Clefairy and Clefable, who are all, right, the Clefairy line is from the moon. But they're not really aliens. They're just kind of weird, and they worship the moon. You have, let's see, what else? You have Deoxys, which honestly is actually a pretty decent design. As an alien goes, you have Deoxys. You have a bunch of Pokemon that live in space, like Rayquaza, and Meteor, and... I'm sure there's at least one other Pokemon that lives in space. I can't think of what it is. I'm sure there's at least one other space Pokemon. Rayquaza, Meteor... Palkia, maybe? But I don't consider those aliens, right? Those are all general... Like, I think of, like, stuff from other worlds. I know the moon isn't another world. Kind of another world, kind of isn't. Whatever. And then, of course, you have Eternatus, which is basically has the same backstory as like King Ghidorah, right? It's an alien from another world that's come to destroy this world to prove itself as an apex predator. And Eternatus is a fucking wreck, honestly. Again, I think King Ghidorah is actually a very good comparison to it. Even though I like King Ghidorah's design more. I don't know, it's very polygonal. This thing, though, reminds me of, like, one of those little gray men aliens. You know what the type I'm talking about. And I like it a lot more. I think this thing is cute. Supposedly this thing's going to be a pain... Okay, so the actual thing from the leaks. The actual thing from the leaks is that this thing is going to be a pain in the ass. Because basically, if you played Legends Arceus, there's the Spirit Tomb, where there's like a bunch of little souls, and you have to gather, it's something like, I don't think it's 151 souls, but you have to gather all the souls that make up Spirit Tomb, and then you can encounter Spirit Tomb. There was also the Zygarde cells in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where you had to gather all 100 Zygarde cells to get perfect Zygarde. Supposedly this is Scarlet and Violet's perfect cells. Maybe you have to catch 100 of these things. Maybe you just have to find 100 coins. We don't know. So this thing might be a pain in the ass to get. This might be like the unknown, where they're easy to catch, but they're not that good. I don't know. I think it's very interesting. But so that's what we do. We don't know, right? We don't know entirely how it works. We just know there's going to be like a bunch of something that you have to collect. So along with it appearing in Pokemon Go, the other thing that happened this morning, along with the Pokemon Go stuff, is the Pokemon Company put up a website called chest.pokemon.com. So this number, 519, has been going up all day. I think when I first saw it this morning, it was at like 199. Now it's at 519. What the black and the yellow means, I have no idea. Because I know the 9 is usually always yellow. I'm assuming it's going to go up until it hits 999. But right, we've got this chest. There's like this badge on the front. It's been opened up. Let's look at the third one first. So, right, we've got the back of the chest. Weirdly enough, why does this remind me of Kid Icarus Uprising? Maybe it just reminds me of one of the chests from Kid Icarus Uprising. But, so you see it has this, like, shadow? The shadow is actually a finger pointing towards, like, the person looking at the website. So, like, people have brightened up this image to see that it's, like, a finger. I'll see if I can find that somewheres. But, yeah. And then you've got this image of the chest open, and you can, like, zoom in, and you can see the coins in it. And this has slowly increased throughout the day. When I first saw it, it was completely empty. But, right, slowly more coins have been added as the number goes up. So, is this going to officially reveal the coin Pokemon? Is this going to be a reveal towards the evolution? We don't actually know yet. Part of me actually wishes this was the evolution. The evolution was a treasure chest filled with coins. In fact, part of me wishes there was a mimic Pokemon. Right? Like, you know, the Dungeons and Dragons enemy, the mimic, that's like a chest with teeth that, right, tricks players. That's actually an amazing idea. I know that's technically the same idea behind, like, Voltorb, right? Voltorb is a mimic Pokeball. Kinda. Again, technically, we don't really think about it like that. But honestly, I love that idea. I love the idea of this chest being a mimic Pokemon. I don't think that's what this is going to be. But I think that's a really good idea. Because it's even got its, like, own coin on top. But, so, Pokemon Company has been building towards this. It's been at 519. I think it updates every, like, 3 hours or so. Maybe even less often than that. Because as far as I know, it's supposed to run for, like, 25 hours. Alright, this website, there's, like, something in the code. People have been dissecting the code. And it's supposed to last for, like, 25 hours. Oh, the multiplayer map's updated. Okay. So, yeah. That's been the coin website. Let's update the multiplayer maps. I'm going to close all this stuff out. Yeah. Let's see what the maps are. So personally, I think the coin is... I like the coin design. I don't love it, but I like it. Which is more than I can say about a lot of Pokemon that have been revealed so far. I legitimately can't hear anything from the game. Are my headphones dead? Did my headphones just die? Okay, so it looks like my headphones are dead. Which... Ugh, that sucks. As long as the audio isn't cut out, you know, I think we'll be fine. Yeah, as far as I know, the audio hasn't cut out, so I think we're fine. It's just... The audio's cut out. I think my headphones died. Because I can still hear things, so I don't think I've gone deaf all of a sudden. I don't think that's a symptom of COVID. So yeah, the coin, you know, it's fine. It's a fine Pokemon. I don't hate it at all. It'd be kind of neat, you know. Would that be a team thing? I don't know. Maybe. Because I have started thinking about my team for Scarlet and Violet. I know there are some people who meticulously plan out their team. I usually do a little bit of both. Like, you know, there's like usually like one or two things I want, and then I let the universe pick the other few. Like in Gen 7, I knew my starter, Poplio, and I knew I wanted a Lycanroc Dark Knight, whatever, the red Lycanroc. And then I think there was like one other thing maybe, but the rest of it I just kind of let the universe decide, and that's how I ended up with a Beware, and that's how I wanted a type Null, but there's only like two of those, or there's only like two. And the only one you can get is in the post-game. I would have... If I had ink in my thing, I would have totally nailed that guy. Like that. Oh my god. So yeah, that, I don't remember what else but right, in my Gen 7 team, I ended up with a Beware, which I did not think I was going to have, but the universe decided I was going to have one. I don't remember the rest of... My Gen 7 team was a piece of shit for Sun and Moon. My Ultra Sun and Moon team was better, I think. Yeah. Honestly, my first playthroughs of Pokemon games, I pick a fucking terrible team, usually. my Sun and Moon team was fucking terrible. My Sword and Shield team was terrible. When we did Sword and Shield earlier this year, my team was so much better. It was so much more thought out. But that was because I had played the game. My Diamond and Pearl team was good, really good, until I got to the Elite Four. And then it all fell apart, because 4 of the 6 members were weak to Earthquake. That fucking sucked. And I didn't even realize it until the Elite Four. Because nobody had used Earthquake in the game up to that point. But yeah, whatever my team in Scarlet and Violet, it's gonna fucking suck. I'll fuck it up somehow. I always do. But I've been thinking about like, oh, I would like right. I'm gonna use Sprigatito because I use this. I don't know. Only monsters don't use their starters. I always use my starter. But I'm gonna use that. I want to use Armor Rouge. I think Armor Rouge would be a cool get. Assuming it doesn't, like, there's, like, some ridiculous way to evolve it. Which also happens, like Vikavolt. Right, the way to evolve Vikavolt, which I did use on my Gen 17. Fucking ridiculous. Same thing with, God, Crabominable was worse, though. God, you get it so early on, and it only evolves at the very fucking end of the game. What a pain in the ass. But yeah, I have Armarouge, and I have, like, one other thing I'm thinking about. But I think it's a leak, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, I'm terrible at team composition. Yeah, it's a leak, so I'm not going to say it. I'm honestly surprised we didn't get a Pokemon trailer. Like, this doesn't surprise me at all, right? Because Meltan was a Pokemon Go thing. And this doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, Pokemon's 2 weeks away. So I guess that takes us into WIBE. So what have I been enjoying? Well, I was talking VR, so I might as well talk VR. So it was Halloween night, and I was like, well, I don't have anything planned. You know what I should finally do? Because I've had it for a while. I've had it forever now. And I did buy the DLC. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should finally play Five Nights at Freddy's VR. Because I was curious about it. It's Halloween. It's a fitting season. Yeah, I'm going to play Five Nights at Freddy's VR. It's really good. It's really good. It's fucking scary as shit, man. So I Let's Played the original 4 FNAF games. Never Let's Played Pizza Sim or Sister Location. Nope, couldn't be bothered to. But I did the first 4 games. And I like FNAF, right? I know Scott Cawthon's, well, he's a Republican. So, yeah. I mean, God, all the fucking Helena Taylor stuff with her being a TERF, like, fuck, man. Fuck her. But yeah, Scott, so I know it's hard to support them, but to be fair, I think I had FNAF VR in my library. So either I didn't buy it, or like PlayStation gave it to me, or maybe I don't know. I just already had the game, and I don't know how I got it. I'm assuming PlayStation gave it out for free at some point. But I did buy the DLC, but it was like $2. I bought it on sale. So, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I get it. But I was curious, right? Because I loved those games. And VR sounded like a really cool idea, and I wanted to play FNAF VR. So, I booted up... So, right, I have PSVR now, so I booted up FNAF VR. And, yeah, it's really good. Fucking, yeah, scary as shit, man. Like, I would figure I would have been immune to the jump scares at this point. Putting them in VR recontextualizes the whole thing in a way that, yeah, it makes it scary again. Which is honestly really refreshing. I want it to be scary again. I will also say that specifically the first FNAF game, is just really well designed. That I bet even if I was playing a PC version, I still probably would have found it scary. Just because the first FNAF game... Give me a second. The first FNAF game is just really well designed. And, like, I think it has a great atmosphere. The animatronic movements are all really well done. In a way that just makes it generally really scary. So yeah, the first FNAF game was great. I'll admit, I barely messed around with 2 or 3. I didn't spend that much time in 2 or 3. I did, what was it? Vent Repair. I did both the Vent Repairs. Those were cool. Honestly, the Vent Repair is one of those, like, little VR experiences. It's not much, but it's right as part of a whole package. It's really cool. When it came to parts and services, so I didn't touch. There was like a closet, like a dark room closet thing. Did not mess with that. Just straight up didn't touch it. I honestly, most of the time I spent in FNAF 1. But when it came to dark room, or when it came to parts and services, so I booted up parts and service, and the game instructs you to remove Bonnie's left eye. And I was like, oh, and like I knew there was something to do with where you had to put the eye in like the opposite receptacle. So I knew there was some sort of switch over. But when it said remove Bonnie's left eye, okay, we had been drinking. I should say I had been drinking by this point. I actually ran out of, oh God, I haven't, because of COVID, I can't go to the liquor store now. But I was gonna go to the liquor store, and because I ran out, and I completely forgot. Because I was making mixed drinks. So, yeah, right, I'll fully admit that. But, it said remove the left eye. And I was like, okay, left hand, left eye. Go to remove the left eye. Boom, jump scare. Try again. Try again. Try again. I kept trying, and I kept failing. And I was like, what the fuck? And I figured it was like I was moving too fast. I figured it was like operation rules, that maybe I kept hitting the walls. In like 20 attempts, I never tried to do the other eye just for the heck of it. Just for shits and giggles. Nope, never tried it. And then the next morning, I wake up and I'm like, wait a second. Bonnie's facing us. So the left eye would be on my right side. My God, I'm a fucking idiot. So yeah, I was stuck in the vent repair because I got the eyes switched because I didn't realize he was facing us. And I'm sure after you remove the eye on your right side, it tells you to put it into the receptacle on the left side. Like, I'm sure there's something there to that. But, yeah, so that was annoying. I was like, God damn it. That was fucking stupid. But yeah, so I literally played like none of Parts and Services. Because I didn't figure that out. But yeah, most of the time I was put into FNAF 1. Which I did make good progress on. You know, it's kind of hard. So I didn't even get to the Halloween stuff. I'll be completely honest. I didn't even try the Halloween stuff. Oh, we got a double kill there. Oh, neat. I didn't even realize that. So, yeah, I didn't even beat the main game. You know, because you have to do everything. You have to find the cassette tapes, of which I found like 2. I found like 3 coins. Not much. But it's a neat... The VR just works really well. I mean, I kind of actually really do want to play more. That totally seems like a game I would 100%. It's just getting everything... Because my VR controllers, like, I didn't even think about charging them. So I could only get, like an hour out of them before one of them died. Because I hadn't even thought about charging them. Didn't even cross my mind. But yeah, so FNAF VR was very fun. I honestly do want to put more time into it. It's very good. It's got way more love and care than Sister Location. It's clearly got actual time and effort put into it in a way that's, you know, kind of clever. It really does a faithful job at recreating the first few FNAF games. I really enjoyed it, you know? It's really cool, and right, it's mostly the first 4 games. Yeah, there's some stuff that's like... Or the first 3 games. There's some stuff that's like 4. There's some stuff from Sister Location. I don't think there's anything from Pizzeria Simulator. Like, I don't think Lefty shows up at any point. So yeah, FNAF VR was a lot of fun. The other thing... Yeah, so that was it. So that was the main game. The other thing I did... The only other game I played this week, because I really haven't played much, was I booted up Ooblets. Because Ooblets got a Halloween update. And I was like, oh, it's a Halloween update. Maybe hopefully they fixed all the bugs. Because, right, there was a shop bug. There were a few other bugs in the game. And I was like, oh, maybe all the bugs are finally fixed. So I booted up Ooblets. Did not remember how to play at all. Because I was clearly working towards some goals when I stopped playing. Didn't remember fucking any of it. So that sucked. I eventually figured some things out. Right, kind of remembered what I was doing. Still have plenty of shit to do in it. But I was clear I hadn't played in a while. We're going to do one or two more, and then we're going to head over to Salmon Run. But yeah, so Ooblets is still really good. There was a Halloween update, and you can now go trick-or-treating. You can go around, visit all the other characters to try to give you Halloween candy that you can use to buy like little cosmetics and whatnot for yourself and for your Ooblets. That was cute. I've mostly just been working towards side quests, getting some rare Ooblets. Like, I finally got another, they're not called shinies. They're called, they have a name, I don't remember what it is. But I finally got another rare Ooblet, which was nice. It was still growing when I had left off. But yeah, I to be honest, I played it today, right? Because, oh, I got the Rona, well, I should probably just sit down and... Right, normally I would play Animal Crossing, but I'm not going to play Animal Crossing. I did actually boot up Animal Crossing. Just on a completely unrelated note, for the Thanks to Them review. This was a while ago. For the Thanks to Them review for the Owl House. I wanted like a picture in the Halloween costume. Because, right, it's a Halloween episode. But I didn't have any good pictures. So I had to boot up Animal Crossing to get a new picture of me in the Halloween costume. So yeah, so I did boot up Animal Crossing for the first time. I don't know, this was like 2 weeks ago now. I swear did somebody not make it up there? It really did look like for a second somebody made it up there. I swear I saw something other than the original hit. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, normally when I used to get sick, I used to play Animal Crossing, right? Like, especially once I like stopped playing it on like a daily basis. But, you know, I was like, okay, I want something else. Because I wanted some video game to play today, but I was like, I didn't want to jump into Splatoon. I didn't want to jump into Automa Chef. I didn't want to jump into like one or two other things. I considered buying Bug Snacks again on Switch. I did consider doing that, but I ended up not. Because it's like 50% off right now. Which I found, oh, speaking of Bug Snacks, so we did the Bug Snack stream, we did the Isle of Big Snacks. I learned after the stream, like a few weeks later, that we actually missed some shit in Bug Snacks. That there's actually like a whole secret, Grumpinati thing that like the game doesn't, it hints you about, it hints that it's there, but it doesn't actually tell you how to find it. Like, there's that one point in the game where we got that rug filled with eyes. Yeah, I guess there's like a whole Grumpinati like dungeon or whatever. That, yeah, the game doesn't, there's no achievement for it or anything. It's just hidden in the game. And I didn't know it. So, when we did the last Bug Snacks live stream, we just didn't do that. To be fair, I didn't, like I said I was going to go back and do all the achievements in Bug Snacks. I ended up not doing that. And I mean, there might be an achievement for it to get when you do all the letters. But yeah, so I should really play Bug Snacks again. Because there is some stuff I missed. But I also kind of don't want to... Right, I don't want to do another dedicated Bug Snack stream just for something that'll take not even 30 minutes. Maybe I should anyways. Because, you know, getting 100% in Game of the Year Bug Snacks would be nice. But yeah, I almost already bought Bug Snacks. Yeah, it was like $15, and I was like, maybe. But I ended up not doing it. We'll do one more round. But yeah, Ooblets is still fun. It's still really good. It's farming Pokemon. Yeah. I mean, what else isn't there to like? Better than Temtem, which if Temtem were to ever go on sale, I would pick it up. I mean, it'd probably have to be more than like 10%. But right, if it went on sale enough, I would pick it up. Because I'm curious enough to at least try it. But so far, and it's never gone on sale on PlayStation, as far as I'm aware. But that'd be nice. That'd be a nice sale. But nothing so far, so yeah. Temtem, man. Yeah, I'd be curious. Because I have been watching a lot of Pokemon videos recently. I watched some Nuzlocke playthroughs. I watched some Pokemon. It's honestly mostly been Nuzlocke stuff and like competitive stuff. I watched Pokemon challenges, and we'll talk about it again at the end. But yeah, I may be terrible at Nuzlocks, and I may not like permadeath as a video game mechanic. But Nuzlocks make for very entertaining videos. I get why they're very popular. Honestly, it kind of makes me want to do a Nuzlocke again, but I legitimately see no point in doing a Nuzlocke unless I'm streaming it. I know that seems dumb, but... Because there are some games that oh, you should stream, that some games that you shouldn't stream, right, blah, blah, blah. Like, I will never stream Dark Souls. But I don't know, I kind of want to, right, if I were to do another Nuzlocke, right, getting the community involved, even if it's just one person telling me what to do, because, again, I do no research or anything, would be very nice. How they didn't get me, I have no idea. That was a complete fuck-up on my part. So yeah, man, I'm ready for Scarlet and Violet. Like, I'm not gonna play, I think I said a week or two ago that I kind of wanted to play a Pokemon game, right? And I almost booted up my old save file from Black and White, but I decided not to. But I'm just ready for Scarlet and Violet. I'm ready for Scarlet and Violet, and I'm just waiting. I tried to do the cool jump off the wall trick, but they got me before then. I don't know, but Scarlet and Violet's right around the corner. Pokemon Splatfest. It's gonna be cool, and you better believe we're competing for Team Grass next week in chat. Oh, that's weird. But yeah, so that's all the games I played this week. Yeah, I don't think I played anything else. Not that I can think of. Oh, wait. I don't remember. I did get caught up in the one podcast I listened to. Right? Because now with all the Rooster Teeth controversy, there's only one podcast I listen to. Well, that and the Dimension 20 stuff, which, God, admittedly, I'm not caught up in that. I have the final episode of Court of Fey and Flowers that I haven't listened to. But the actual podcast I listen to, I am caught up in. I finished the podcast, which I'm up to the current-ish episode. Which is nice, because I was 10 episodes behind. Like a week ago. A little more than a week ago, but I'm now fully caught up. So, yeah. But we do have some TV to talk about. We've got 2 shows, so we'll talk about those now. But we're going to hop into some Salmon Run. Hopefully it goes better than last week. Hopefully we actually get to fight Kohozuna this week. God, I don't even know what's in the rotation, honestly. I haven't even checked. Let's do the Shellfish Machine. I thought we had 2 of those. Oh, woo, a food ticket. Underground point sensor user. Ew. They're both terrible. Okay, whatever. Oh, you know what we do have? So, before we actually talk about the TV shows I want to talk about, we have some anime. Yeah. Okay. So, Right now, the current season of Spy X Family is airing. And you know me, I'm curious. Ooh, those weapons. Ooh, eeg. We'll see how we do. I mean, I can use this weapon. I can undercover umbrellas. I can use... Was L3 Nozzle Nose in there? Oh, Luna Blast. Oh, God. Okay, maybe we're in trouble. So, right, anime. I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, how far are we in Spy X Family second season? Because I know that's airing right now, so I looked it up. Dub-wise, which I'm watching the dub, we're 3 episodes in. So I was like, yeah, I'll watch the dub. Okay. God, the undercover umbrellas there. I've seen people call it the worst weapon in the game, and they're not wrong. I mean, it might be better here in Salmon Run, but if they're not, they're definitely not wrong. So yeah, I was like, you know, I kind of want to watch the new season of Spy X Family. So I booted it up, and you know what? It's really good. So at the start of this episode, we get introduced to So Anya, right at the end of the last season, she talked about wanting a dog. So as a reward for getting her first Stella Star, Lloyd and Yor go out to get her a dog. And they go to this spy approved dog vendor. That ends up they not find anything, so they go to an adoption event. Meanwhile, Lloyd gets dragged away about there's a minister visiting or something. So he gets dragged away to stop this assassination attempt. And they learn that the assassin is of course using dogs. So while while learning about that and doing some interrogations and whatnot, working for it's not the secret police, I don't remember what they're called. While working for them, he ends up Anya meanwhile sees a dog outside and gets involved, ends up following this dog to this place. I'm definitely getting some details wrong here. But basically she ends up getting the terrorists who are using the dog bombs end up finding Anya, and they take her hostage. Meanwhile, Yor is freaking out because she lost Anya. She ends up getting with the dog. They run because she gets captured. Then she realizes the dog can tell the future. Fantastic. The dog being able to see the future, and also being from the same experiments that, allow Anya to read minds. Right, because there's a doctor, at one point you see a flashback with the dog, and the doctor who, was experimenting on the dog is the same doctor who was experimenting on Anya. That's great. Anya seeing the future, or Anya being able to read minds adds this element to the show that's very well done. You just threw that into the water. Right, it adds a very well done element. It's just that little layer of detail that I feel is very important to the show's overall vibe. I'm going to use vibe. So, as an extension of that, finding out that the dog can see the future, it's just that little twist on thing. And the fact that Anya can read dogs' minds. Not just this one, but at a later point we see her read a different dog's mind. Which I don't think was something that was previously established in the show. It might have been. Okay, I got rid of that. So, yeah, she can read the dog's mind, so she can now she's basically, through the dog, got the ability to see the future. Which is very funny. But they're able to use the dog's future vision to both escape from the terrorists, but also to save Lloyd's life, because he was going to walk into a clock tower where a bomb was going to go off. But they're able to, warn Lloyd about the bomb so that way he doesn't die. So that's very good. There are, Yor on quest to find Anya ends up stopping 2 of the terrorists, including the head terrorist. But eventually the 3 characters all meet up together. Right, originally, the head of... I want to say her name is Stella. whoever is leading, right, Lloyd's boss, like, originally wants to take the dog away, but then, in such a clever little moment, Anya threatens that, oh, if they don't let her keep the dog, she's gonna stop doing school. Very clever. Very clever. Again, it's one of those things that because she can read people's minds, she knows it's school that they care about the most for the mission. Ah, that's so clever. I love that. I love that little detail, man. Okay, you take priority. So yeah, I thought that was very clever, and I really did like that. How did we not get? I can just faintly hear. I don't know. One of my speakers must be turned on to like 1 or something, because every once in a while something very loud happens, and I hear the game. Yeah, like right there, the explosion. You take priority. Yeah, so that, and the episode ends with them getting the dog. And, you know, they spend a little time with the dog in the next episode. But it's still, Spy X Family is really good. And the first 3 episodes of this season start off super strong. Right, with the whole dog, Anya being on her own little spy mission, naming the dog Bond. Yeah, that's good. It's just a great show. I get why people love it so much. I know, you know, when it comes to how it ends, I know the manga's still in progress. And, you know, it's either going to end good or it's all going to go to shit. It might all go to shit. We all hope that Lloyd ends up with staying with Anya and right. It just all ends good, but you know eventually they're gonna have to Mr. and Mrs. Smith it, where Yor is gonna be tasked with taking out Twilight and something. The brother works for the secret police after all, right? Something's eventually all gonna happen, but we all hope it ends on a good note. I also totally see the thing where because. I know one of the nations is Estonia. I think it's Westalis is the other one. And I don't remember which one Lloyd worked. I don't think Yor works for either of them specifically. She's just a contract killer. The brother works for one, Lloyd works for the other. And I know they're building up something like that. Right, or I can see them build up something along the lines of learning that the government is actually evil. That the government Lloyd works for is evil. But I don't know, that's how most modern shows work. But honestly, if this show is black and white enough, I could legitimately see them not, like, just being like, yeah, I know, the government Lloyd works for is good. There's nothing to worry about there. And honestly, it would be kind of refreshing. Not that it's, like, a good take or anything, but you know, simplicity's not always bad. I know we act like it is sometimes, but simplicity's not always the worst thing in the world. But I can easily see, right, I don't think whoever Lloyd's boss is, I don't think she's bad either. Right? But, like, I could see their superior, right? Basically, Ghost Protocol gets enacted. I could see that happening. That's the kind of show this is. Oh my god, I actually got that shot. But yeah, so Spy X Family's really good. I forgot I'd watched that. Again, there's still, I don't know how many episodes the sub's up to. The dub's up to 3, so I watched the 3 in the dub. That's all I got. That's all I know, so that's all I gotta tell you. Is that oh my god, it actually made it in. Is that so far I've been enjoying. I think it's a really good dub. Show makes some weird, like, I found out that one episode in season 1 that I hated, I learned was actually only a single panel in the manga. I need to read the manga. People have been recommending me the manga for at least a year now. Same thing with Chainsaw Man. People have been recommending Chainsaw Man to me for like over a year now. And that anime started earlier this week. Don't know how people feel on it. Haven't gotten the vibe of that one. There was one anime recently that I heard people were super disappointed with. Don't remember which one though. Oh. Yeah, I don't remember what anime where people were like complaining about the quality of it. I don't remember. I know there was one recently though, where like people were disappointed with the adaptation. I don't remember. But yeah, so that was anime. You know, I don't have time for that much anime anymore. I mean, I've watched what? I was trying to think like what animes have I watched this year, and it's literally it's like 3. I'm Quitting Heroing, Spy X Family, and like one other thing. I've watched nothing, but I have been watching some TV, which the first show I've been watching, Amphibia. So I went through the first 2 seasons of Amphibia, really enjoyed Amphibia, really good show. Well, I enjoyed it, and I was super surprised by the ending of the last season, where they go to the human world. And I was like, oh shit, that's really cool. Okay, let's see what the 3rd season has to offer. And I finally finished the 3rd season 2 days ago? After slowly making my way through it. Right, I finally finished it. So yeah. So the 3rd season starts off in the human realm. Right, we're in the human realm, Anne gets reunited with her parents, and we spend half the season there. I think the season's, 18 episodes? And of those 18 episodes, we spend like 10 of them in the human realm. And we get a lot of great, right, we get the fish out of water stuff, which is super obvious, obviously. But outside of the fish out of water stuff, I love, right, it happens, but we also get, like, just a bunch of fun other stuff in there. Like, there's a whole Spider-Man parody where Sprig becomes Frogman. Even though it's called Spider-Sprig, Sprig becomes Frogman. And then he gets an arch nemesis, because throughout most of the, for the first, 6 episodes, they're running away from, an evil robot that's, an Adaptatron, an Adaptoid. So they're running away from this Adaptoid, but Anne uses her her powers of courage to defeat it. And then when she uses her powers of courage to defeat it, this old man who's the head of the neighborhood watch, ends up finding the arm and uses it in a Dr. Octopus way to fight Sprig. And that's very fun. The whole Spider Sprig episode is very fun. And I love that Matt Brawley? I think it's Brawley. For Halloween this year, he posted art of all the different Amphibia characters. And Anne was the main protagonist of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Polly was an Inkling girl. I think Hot Pop was it. Pennywise? Right? And Sprig was Miles Morales. So that was very cute. You can find that on Twitter. But yeah, the Spider Sprig episode was fun. And you get some good side characters in there. You have the 2 tech girls who help Polly fix up Frobo. And then they eventually turn Frobo into an RC car for half the season. That was cute. You have the scientist voiced by, God, I always forget her name, but it's Webby from DuckTales, who is one of those voices you immediately recognize. She's also Sadie in Steven Universe, but honestly, I feel like Webby's kind of the more iconic role at this point. You have Hot Pop meets an actor who looks kind of like him and ends up getting him his big break. There's a fantastic episode where they go to the temple and they all learn about Anne's community, right? Like the temple life and her culture. And they all kind of get involved. Like Hot Pop gets involved with like the dance troupe. Sprig gets involved in like, it's not soccer, but it's some sort of sport. Polly gets involved with kids learning to speak the language. Meanwhile, Anne doesn't want anything to do with it. But she ends up really, right, she realizes how important her culture is. And how much the people have been helping her parents ever since she disappeared. There's the museum curator, who is, fine. You just got a colorful cast of characters who I really do like. Especially because they all come back in the, when they try to go back to escape to Amphibia. Right? All these characters come back. And it's really nice. Like, that's a really nice thing to see them all show up again. To stop RuPaul, who is RuPaul, voiced by RuPaul, who looks just like RuPaul, who does a fantastic job. Just such a fun character. RuPaul does a fantastic job. Just great, right? It was like, yeah, okay, this is fun. I think the character's called Mr. X. I love Mr. X's assistant, who I don't think ever talks, but they just have such like a good dynamic, like just the silent like high fives and whatnot. I did like that. It's a minor detail, but it's a good one. Okay, looks like we're over here. Maybe? Oh. But yeah, they eventually do escape back to Amphibia. There is a Christmas episode where, right, the world learns about, because Andreas possesses a Santa Claus robot, which is fun. Because I love the whole Christmas parade. Because, right, throughout the season, the parents are constantly pointing out, like, how much Anne has changed. How much Anne has grown up, effectively. And then in the Christmas parade, it's like, oh, my parents have done so much. My mom's dream has always been to be in the Christmas parade. And they finally have a slot. So even though you guys are here, let's do the Christmas parade. So I love Christmas episodes, man. Disappointing student. I got a good Christmas episode. But I love Christmas episodes. Great, fun Christmas episode. Fighting an evil robot Santa. That's fun, So overall, I enjoy all the stuff in the human world. For everything I mentioned, there's at least like 2 things I'm forgetting. Because admittedly, a lot of these episodes I watched like a month ago. Because it took me a while to get through the third season. But I enjoyed all the human world stuff. God, this is all stuff we could have had in the Owl House as well. There is a reference to the Owl House at one point. When they meet the scientist who's created the portal to get them back to Amphibia, the scientist has like pictures of other universes. And one of the pictures is the Owl House. So that was fun. But they eventually escape back to Amphibia, find out that Amphibia is basically in its like mid-apocalypse state. And you see, right, Sasha's taken charge of the resistance in Wartwood in their secret house basement. I love not Wally, the blacksmith. It's not Wall. It's One-Eyed Wally. Is it Warble? Something like that. Whoever the blacksmith is, and how he's just become completely jacked. That's really funny. But I like that. I like the episode where they come back, and Sasha, right? Because Sasha gives Anne control because she doesn't want to be the controlling, manipulative one. Last time she took control, she fucked it up completely. So she wants to give control to Anne, and they have to work through that. I like all the stuff with Sasha this season because, like, Sasha, for the most part, has been an antagonist in the show. But because we spent all that time with Marcy in the second season, that now we spend all this time with Sasha in the third season. Right? Seeing how she's changed. Also, I love Grimes. Grimes is so much fun. I love the whole episode where Sprig has to defeat Grimes' sister. So Grimes trains Sprig. That's fun. But right, most of the season is them building out the rebellion, getting Newt. Right, we meet that one. They do a Robin Hood's parody, and they get some Newts to work with them. They meet up with Grimes' sister and get her to work with them. They meet up with the Mushroom People again. Yeah, they resolve that loose end and end up getting the Mushroom People to work with them because yeah, there's like this whole mind controlled community. So that was really solid. But yeah, it's all the first part. It's all about getting the rebellion, learning everything that's gone terribly wrong since then. I was trying to lure him back to the base. Oh. But yeah, so everything with once you get back, right, it's all building towards Andreas. We actually do get an Andreas flashback. Because while all this has been going on, Marcy gets taken over by the Core. Which the Core is like a hive mind, sort of. Not really a hive mind, but it's like a collection of all of the greatest, like, all like the old king, like the Andreas's father is in there. But all the greatest minds of Amphibia, basically, have been collected into the Core. But the Core wants a body, so it takes over Marcy and it tries to add her to it. Which is very good. Right, making again, there's this whole thing in Disney shows, apparently, where one of the heroes gets possessed. Right, Hunter, Dipper, Marcy here, who becomes Darcy, which is fun. Right, Dark Marcy. God, I love all the video game references. Honestly, following Matt Brawley on Twitter, I realize like how much of a gamer he is. Right, like, because he's like, I mean, like we even looked at his artwork in Splatoon one day. Because he's done artwork, not like on like the Miiverse artwork. But yeah, and then there's just a bunch of video game references. Like, at one point while in the Core, Marcy gets, like, an image of, like, right, all, like, Anne and, Sasha show up, and Anne has Link's outfit from Breath of the Wild, and Sasha has Edelgard's outfit from Fire Emblem. That was very funny. That was a very funny detail that I do like. The final boss fight is literally the Majora's Moon. There's a bunch of video game shit in here. So it's a lot of fun. But, so yeah, Darcy is, right, Dark Link, but Marcy. And, you know, Darcy's it's an okay antagonist. Like, they definitely put more of the weight on Andreas. But we get this whole Andreas flashback, where, right, at one point, frogs, newts, and toads used to all live together. But then Leaf, who immediately, I was like, wait, didn't we see them? Because I swear, I might be completely wrong. But one, I knew for a fact they were on the vase. There's like a blacklight vase. But I was like, didn't we also see Leaf in like the Planter family history book? Because you find out Leaf has a secret room. But I swear you see them in the book. Because I was like, I recognize this character. But then for the Toad flashback character, it's, what is his name? Beryl the Brave? Who, right, Grimes uses his hammer. So that was nice, right, getting those three characters. Finding out that Leaf stole the music box. And, right, they're the ones that hit it. That explains how it got to the human world. All that, right, why Hot Pop knows it as the Calamity Box. So that's all good information there. But yeah, and they're eventually able to use the letter, which I figured was going to be like a blacklight thing, but no, they actually use Mr. X's glasses instead to reveal the secret message in the letter. But you know, we get the penultimate episode. Well, in the penultimate episode, the rebellion finally does their big invasion of Earth, or their big invasion on Newtopia. And it just completely fails, right? Like, because Darcy, because they try to use a plan from, like, the Lord of the Rings parody, and it completely fails. Come on, you just have to survive. So yeah, because, you know, Darcy has the memory of the Lord of the Rings parody, so she was able to predict their plan, the core, right, all that. So that was good. So their plan fails, and they all get captured. Andrea starts the invasion of Earth. So we spend a lot of time with the invasion of Earth. And I like that Anne's parents are working with Mr. X. They've had some time to prepare for this eventual invasion. And, this is where Frobo gets upgraded, right? That happens here. I don't know why I remember that specific detail. But, right, a lot of the characters who we met up to this point all help out. Really, most of it comes in episode 10, but a lot of them also show up back again here. As they all work towards defeating Andreas and his invading army to save Earth. They end up succeeding, of course, right? Andreas calls out Anne and is like, one-on-one battle me. So Anne uses her powers of courage and is able to one-on-one Andreas. She actually gets her ass... She starts off fine, but she's not strong enough and she runs out of power. So she eventually gets her ass kicked. And then Sprig comes in with the letter and tells right Andreas, which causes him to show weakness until the core takes over. But the core, because while Anne is fighting Andreas, Sasha is fighting the core, because she's trying to get the music box. And so that's all, right, giving both the characters more stuff to do. I'm disappointed Sasha doesn't, because they mention at one point that through Anne, they should be able to get their powers back. I don't remember who, one of them says that. I don't remember who tells them that. But somebody tells them that through Anne, right, because Anne still has a link to her powers, the other two should also have a link to their power, right, can use Anne's link to get the powers back. But no, that doesn't happen. But I thought it would have been really cool is if they had used, right, if in that moment with Sasha fighting Darcy, if Sasha had gotten her powers back and used those to defeat Darcy. That would have been really cool. But nope, that doesn't happen. But Sasha is able to defeat Darcy. Marcy is fine. But the helmet, they take the portal back to Amphibia. And then they, the helmet flies off into space and starts sending the moon directly into the planet Majora's Mask style. Which, you know, is just fun. Admittedly, I do think even though it's supposed to be this big, like, climactic moment, I do feel like the penultimate, right, episode is more climactic. It's, like, you know how in Gravity Falls there's the riddle, right? The diagram with, like, the llama, the ice bag, the shooting star, the pine tree, the glasses. And then that just kind of never goes anywheres. This show has a prophecy like that. And it feels like it never goes anywheres until, right, that final episode when it's like, oh, well, we just need to give it something to do now. Like, honestly, they could have ended it without doing that, and I probably would have been fine with it. Right? I know that's weird to say, but really they're able to wrap up the solution. They're able to wrap up all the problems without ever having to use the power. Well, you know, without Sasha and Marcy having to use the powers. And the final episode is just giving them something cool to do. It's basically just flexing, if I'm being completely honest. Oh, come on. So yeah, the final is them just flexing. They all get their powers back. Great designs. I love I love Sasha's flaming hair, Marcy's outfit. They're all, and right, Anne, even her outfit just changes just a little bit. It's not much, but yeah, there's a little bit there. Right, just seeing them all, I love that episode in the second season where they did the Battle of the Band stuff and they all had their own outfits even though we didn't see Sasha in hers. Wish we had. That would have been really nice. But whatevers. We just need one more. Nope. So yeah, the final episode, they're able to... they start trying to push back Majora's Moon. Andreas actually does help by sending his robots to push it back. Because you find out Andreas is also part robot, because, he's 1,000 years old. But they're unable to defeat Majora's Moon. Sasha and Marcy get weakened out. So Anne takes all 3 of the crystals and is like, I'll do this myself. Because they kind of, the Alm, who was like, there's like these ancient Alms who... Yeah, I mean, I skipped over most of their stuff. Yeah, whatever. Honestly, they're okay. But yeah, Mother Alm is literally your Deus Ex Machina kind of thing. Where she just comes in to introduce these exposition, and in the final moments tells Anne about the ultimate spell that will be able to do what she wants. It just will kill her. And yeah, they actually fully go for it. Anne is able to defeat Majora's Moon, but it kills her in the process. And we see her, like, turn to, like, white stone, and then she just crumbles apart into leaves. And it's really fucking dark, especially when you find out afterwards that Anne did, in fact, die. But... Alright, Anne died. But the stone deity, as they call it, the stones deity, was able to make a backup copy of her right before she died. Yeah, no, that's dark. And then the stone deity, which I know I've seen this in other shows before. Can't tell you where. But the stone deity makes Anne an off... Okay, other than like Percy Jackson or the Adventure Zone. I guess those are the two I'm thinking of. Basically, the stone deity is like, I put the stones out there looking for a replacement to guard over the multiverse or the multiplane. And I think you'll do a good job. And of course turns the offer down. Right, that she's always changing, always growing. And the Stone Guardian's like, okay, I'll send you back to Earth. I mean, I've waited 10,000 years. I can wait another 78 more. Which, part of me is like, oh, well, I'm surprised she didn't ask for, like, all of her friends to come with her as well. But, like, honestly, I think the solution they give is, honestly, for the best. Right, of Anne turning her down. Again, this shit happens all the time. Again, Percy Jackson and the Adventure Zone both do it. Right, where they meet the creator, or... Honestly, the scene reminds me the most of the Adventure Zone, right? Where it's like the creator on the computer. In the Adventure Zone, they were on a train, but, yeah. But I've definitely seen, yeah, stuff play out exactly like this before in other shows like this. So yeah, Anne ends up, right, turning it down. And then we get one thing I always want a show to do. They don't always do this, but I want a time skip. I want to know, after the show ends, what are all the characters doing? And we get a time skip in this show. We see, right, we start off first with Polly, Hop Pop, Sprig. We find out what's going on with all of them 10 years later. They don't specifically give a time frame, but they say Anne's stuff is 10 years later, so let's just pretend it's that. Right, we find out Polly's a full-grown frog. Sprig's become an adventurer. We just get a lot of little moments with all the characters. The only rodent I kind of remember is the potion. Wally's no longer buff. Okay, or not Woggle. Woggle's no longer buff. Whichever. The blacksmith. And then we find the potion seller has her own shop now. The restaurant's better. What's Grimes? We find out that, it's not Penumbra. Fuck, what's her name? The lady in waiting and, UNAP are together. They're dating / married. That's good. Okay, I totally saw the chemistry there. Because you see them together earlier in the season, and it's like, yeah, okay, they clearly got something there, and it does confirm at the end. Who else do you get endings for? Which, honestly, if I could spend any time with more characters, it would be those three. Those two, I mean. Because they, like, at the end of the show, Marcy, it highlights, like, those two characters as, like, her friends she made in Amphibia. But we don't really spend as much time with them as we do Grimes, or, honestly, a lot of other characters. Specifically UNAP. I would have liked some, like, she shows up in, like, 3 or 4 episodes. I would have liked a little more time with her. I don't know. Who else? We get endings for... We find out Andreas has become a farmer. That's what he was doing since then. Because he... Yeah. Who else? We spend time with... Who else do we find out about? There's a bunch of... I know we find out about a bunch more characters. I can't remember what Grimes is doing. I love Grimes. Honestly, he was a good villain who then just through Sasha, they were able to do great things with. And I really... He loses an arm in the final battle, which was very good. Right? It doesn't... They don't kill off any characters, but yet they're able to raise the stakes by having Grimes lose an arm. Yes, that's... you know me, I don't like when characters die. I feel like you can make a good show without killing off characters. I know it's not entirely realistic, but I like that. And so yeah, Grimes loses an arm, but I don't remember what he ends up doing at the end of the show. And yeah. But yeah, and then of course we cut back to 10 years later on Earth. We learn that Marcy's been off in wherever her parents moved to, and she's coming back to visit Anne and Sasha. So it's been 10 years. It's not been like they've met online and whatnot. We learned through Sasha that Anne and Sasha drifted apart during high school. They both found their own cliques. We learned that Sasha is a youth counselor. That she's done some terrible things. She's seen some terrible things. So she's good at getting through to the kids, which honestly makes perfect with how everything worked with the frogs, the toads. Yeah, it makes perfect sense for the character. And then finally we learn that Anne is working at the aquarium. She's in charge of the frog exhibit, which is very cute, right? She's got a little sprig. But hey, the three girls meet up, and that's where the episode ends. And yeah, I really like it. I wish I could remember that name of... There's an anime out there where it's all about... it's got a setup where one of the girls is moving away. And so because of that, they find a stone that grants wishes. And they're like, oh, we should use the wishing stone to stop your parents from moving away. And then they go on all sorts of adventures related to the wishing stone. There's a body switching episode. They fly at one point. There's a lot of shit that happens. But then it ends with the conclusion of no, that one of the girls, she ends up moving away. But it's okay, right? They'll be okay. And then the show ends with them it's been years and they've all graduated high school, right? It ends with a time skip, much like this one. But I do not remember the name of the show. I've looked it up once, but there is an anime that has a similar-ish ending. Alright, let's do this extra wave real quick. We got the undercover... Where is Kohozuna? Okay, there you are. Okay, so what matters here the most is taking out these guys. Your number one priority should be taking out these things, and then using their eggs to splat more guys. Oh no. Okay, so one for Kohozuna. Where are the boss salmonets? Oh no, I'm too short. God damn it! I missed the second time! I hate that when you miss, the eggs just break. That was 3 shots that all missed. Because that's how you beat Kohozuna. Not with the thing, but with the power eggs. You use 2 on the boss, 1 on the next enemy. I completely fucked up there. I missed 2 shots. I missed the 3rd shot. God damn it. God damn it. One day I will beat Kohozuna again. One day before Big Wave happens. Or whatever that's called. Next Wave. Agents of Hate. Whatever it's called. I don't know. Whatever. Honestly, that's better than some of the attempts I've previously had. Now, let's just keep going. So, final thoughts on Amphibia. It's really good. Honestly, I remember when it was revealed. It and the Owl House were revealed around the same time. And I remember being like, oh, the Owl House looks okay. Amphibia, though, nah. Like, Frog Show? What? This is kind of weird. But I'm glad I did it. You know, I'm glad I finally got around to the Owl House. And I'm glad that because the Owl House was so good, I was like, you know, I should probably check out this one as well. Because it's really good. Do I enjoy it as much as something like the Owl House? No. Or Gravity Falls? No. But I still do enjoy it. It's got great characters. It's well written. It's fun. It's funny. The voice actors, Brenda Song is Anne. And it's like, oh, fantastic. They've got a lot of like, there are voice actors whose names I do not know. But I immediately was like, yep, I recognize that voice. Like, holy shit. The character dynamics are great. Anne, Sasha, and Marcy have great dynamics. I love seeing all of them. I love how it changes throughout the show, right? How it starts off with, right, Sasha being the antagonist, and then eventually Marcy gets possessed into Darcy, so she becomes the antagonist. That's a lot of fun. You got a lot of fun creatures, inventive scenarios, good world building. All around the show, did I not? I swear, whatever. All around the show just works really well. It's a lot of fun. It's got so much working for it. They're putting out a book. I just got I think they just announced that the book is coming out in, like, December. They're putting out Marcy's Journal, which I love shit like that. I love the Gravity Falls book. I love the Star vs. the Forces of Evil book. Right? Shit like that's really fun. I hate how they did the Blacklight Gravity Falls thing. I wish they had, one, made more of those, and two, maybe made them cheaper. But, I mean, I get it. Blacklight's expensive. It was still a cool idea. Either way, it was a cool idea. But yeah, they're doing a book for this, Marcy's Journal through Amphibia, which is going to be a lot of fun, you know. But yeah, overall, it was just a really good, really fun show. You know, there were some forgettable episodes. I don't know if there was any episode that I was like, oh god, this is terrible. It was more, right, there's just episodes that I don't really remember, or right, like, episodes I just don't give a shit about. But, yeah, there was nothing really, like, offensive or anything like that. Like, I don't think the show ever did an episode addressing its critics, which is very refreshing. At least I don't think it did. And we did not get a musical episode, which, that's sad. You know me, I love my musical episodes. We did, in the Christmas episode, there's a Christmas song that kind of, like, is in the background. I mean, it's not in the background, but, like, there's, like, in the background of a lot of shots, and then, you know, they get some focus here and there. There's, like, there's a busker, and the busker is Rebecca Sugar. And you can just tell based on, like, the character design. Because the character, right, kind of like how RuPaul looks just like RuPaul, the busker looks just like Rebecca Sugar. And I was like, oh, that's neat. But yeah, there was no real song. Right. I did like the Season 3 outro. That was good. A lot of times when these shows redo their outros, right, like when Star vs. the Forces of Evil redid its outro, I did not like it. But no, the Season 3 had a different intro and outro, and I did like them both. Yeah. Yeah, there was no... I wish there was a musical episode. To be fair, I don't think the Owl House has a musical episode either. I just love... I'm... I'm spoiled by Dead End Paranormal Park. What can I say? For just having such a great musical episode. But yeah, the Amphibia, it's all on Disney Plus. I recommend it. Oh, did that get 3 of us? Holy... I thought I was just far enough away to avoid it. But no, I did really enjoy this show. It is very solid. It's very fun. It did make me cry. I didn't say that earlier. But yeah, that final bit of them all saying goodbye totally made me cry. Yep. So yeah, I really like it. I really recommend it. Alright, let's take care of some of this crap. Also, when it comes to the shipping wars, I said it once and I'll say it again, I stand for the polycule. I know it's right, oh, which with which. Nope, polycule. Polycule. So I cannot believe we haven't gone back into professional. Whatever. So, I mentioned a few seconds ago Dead End Paranormal Park's musical episode, and how just good it is. Well, because it was Halloween and everything, I did finally get around to watching Dead End Paranormal Park Season 2. So, I liked the first season. It was a lot of fun. You had some, horror theme park, great idea. And the first season was really good. In the second season, they teased angels, right? We were teased with a character who we later learned was called the Watcher. And so now we've got these angels. And yeah, we got a second season, and it's pretty... It came out a while ago, but I only finally got around... I'm so behind on shows right now. I still gotta watch Bee and Puppy Cat. I gotta watch... Cyberpunk Edge Runner, or whatever it was called. Never watched Arcane, but I don't think I will. Ghost and Molly McGee. So I'm behind on a lot of shows right now. But I was like, you know what, I need to get around to watching Dead End Paranormal Park. At least I can just cause fallacy myself, because I did watch the first season. Right? And yeah, I was finally able to get around to it. I think I had started it last week, because I think I briefly mentioned the wrestling episode. Wrestling episode, very good. So yeah, there's a whole episode where oh god, why am I forgetting his name? Oh my god, I'm forgetting the main character's name. I remember Norma. I remember Logs for some reason. It's Barney. Barney. God, why did I forget Barney? I don't know. There's a whole episode where we find out Barney's been going down to the underworld, to one of the lower levels, and has been training in a gym, right? And he's been training with one of the other demons, and to, as if he was a wrestler, and only one other person down there knows he's human. And I love how he explains wrestling as oh, it's just like when I first showed up at Dead End. When I'm here, nobody knows I'm trans. Nobody even knows what a binder is. I can just be myself. Love it. That great little moment right there. But yeah, we get this whole wrestling. I used to be one of those people where I was like, oh, wrestling is fake and stupid. But the more I learn about wrestling, the more I realize it's like the next Shakespeare, which I honestly think is the best comparison. I know some scholar would scoff at that. Nah, I think Shakespeare is the best comparison for what wrestling is. Like, that's not a joke. Not at all. But, right, the more I think about it, the more I realize I would probably really like wrestling. I just need to actually watch it. And it's weird. It's funny because I have great avenues. Like, James Stephanie Sterling is a wrestler. I just need to watch their stuff. And yet I don't for some reason. And I don't know why. I really should. But, whatever. Wrestling is a lot of... Right, I get why people love it so much. I get why it's so popular. Totally do. So the wrestling episode is a lot of fun. You eventually learn that the guy who's been training Barney is actually one of the demon princes, and Barney ends up having to fight him in like this big like wrestling smackdown to get into the Demon Wrestling Federation. And he ends up actually doing it, but reveals he's human. And it's actually like, yeah, no, that's good, right? That's a good thing, because now humans can compete in demon wrestling. It's a very good episode, and I love that even the Angel's on board with it. Because, so in the first episode, they meet the angel called Fingers, who is literally just a hand. He's like a hand on an endless arm, who is trying to guide Pugsley on magic and everything. Kind of weird. Like, they try to use him for horror elements. I definitely don't find him scary, but he's just kind of weird. He's strange. He's got ulterior motives. And they are not subtle about hiding that he's got ulterior motives. Not in the slightest. But yeah, we get some episodes with him like magic, where Pugsley is trying to use a duplication spell, and he can't duplicate a spoon, but he duplicates Barney, Norma, and Courtney. Yep, he duplicates Courtney into like the evil versions of themselves / the good version of Courtney. And that's a lot of fun. There's a million Pugsleys. But in that episode, at one point, Barney comes up to Pugsley and is like, oh, your magic is your own. You can do whatever you want with it. And it felt very out of place. And I did notice immediately that Barney had the Pugsley's fez on. And I was like, okay, I don't know what it is, but something's up here. Right. And you do actually, luckily, it was something that I was like, okay, something clearly happened here. And I kept waiting to see if there was an answer, especially because one of the episodes does introduce time travel. And I was like, oh my god, is Barney going to time travel? And sure enough, Barney time travels. So yeah, because there's this whole time travel episode where they're on like a Ferris wheel. And right, Barney and Logs are fighting, because right, they started dating at the end of the last season, but they have a little fight, and so right, Barney and Logs are fighting, kind of, and then Norma asks out, what is her name? Norma asks out, I don't remember her name. Shit. Norma asks her out. She turns her down. So Pugsley keeps trying to repeat this Ferris wheel thing over and over again until it works out. But of course, it never works out. And eventually he has to, like, after almost killing everybody, Norma's like, it's okay for me to let me be sad. Right? Nothing's gonna work out. Of course, right, they eventually... Barney and Logs are fighting, but it's because Logs got rejected from an audition, because everybody in the park is an actor, you know? They're all one step away from being, fucking Jake Novak. Which, you know, a different show would totally make a reference to Jake Novak. Maybe next season. Assuming there is next season. What is her name? I have no idea. I cannot remember her name. So, yeah. But, you know, because at the end of either that episode, at some point she quits. And she ends up going home, back to her, she sleeps in, she goes to her parents' house. And originally she's like, all paranoid about that, but she realizes, oh, she's paranoid because she doesn't want to tell her mom she's bi. And because she ends up realizing that when talking to Logs, who comes over because some shit went down with Barney, and he's dead, but we don't know that at the time, because Logs and Norma are dealing with the ghost of Pauline. Because even though we saw the Watcher just like poof out Pauline's ghost, nope, turns out she's alive, and she's possessing the dolls in Norma's attic. And they want to use Norma's mom as, like, their next host. But Norma's able to stop them, and they create, like, Pauline, like, this mini park. And, you know, it's kind of cute, I guess. So, right, that whole episode with Norma, right, stressing out, right, confronting her mom, dealing with the little Paulines and everything, helping out Logs. That's a really good episode. The confession itself is really well done. Because, you know, her mom really does care about her. And is, you know, just trying to be there for her daughter. And I really like that episode. So, yeah, all that stuff is great. There's an episode where they go down to hell. Or one of the demons, and they end up crashing, the sister of the guy who was possessing Pugsley. The guy who was possessing Pugsley is named... It's not Asmodeus. It's... I clearly don't remember any of the names. But right, we end up seeing him. He ends up being down there in hell, and he talks to Pugsley about it. And right, because he's possessing a mailman nowadays, which is fun. His name is... It's something with a D. I remember that much, at least. I don't know. I clearly don't remember any of the characters' names. They were trying... Oh, my God. I thought I got away from it just to be pushed into a bunch of minis. Not Demogorgon. That's the monster from Stranger Things. I just don't... It's clear I don't remember characters' names. But, down there, right, the friend whose name I'm forgetting tries to hook up Norma with the, sister, and that ends up kind of working out. Norma gets her phone number. But they learn, right, they're originally sent down there by Fingers to, like, basically shut down this party. They're narcs, basically. Trying to shut down this demon party. But, right, they meet up with their friend, because they've made demon friends, right? Even their demon enemies are nice to them. So they end up crashing the party. Demolucas. His name is Demolucas. Yeah. Demolucas is possessing a mailman. And his sister ends up, right, spending some time with Norma. Who else is... I don't remember what Courtney does. Oh, Courtney sees a blue, demon that kind of looks like her. And she's like, what? Because she's never seen another demon like her before. And so she sees this one and is like, what's going on here? I gotta talk to them, but she's never able to. And right, so that's going on, and right, they're sent to break up the party. They decide to not do that because, you know, the demons are actually kind of cool, right? They have friends here. The one wrestler demon's here again, and he ends up hanging out with Barney, and it's all around just a good time for them until the Watcher shows up and ruins the party. He just completely ruins the party. Sends all the angels, or sends all the demons to Angel Jail. Is really pissed at Courtney specifically. Oh God, where is everybody? We're so screwed. Right, he sends all the demons to Angel Jail. He's really mad at Courtney. He sends Barney... Right, and afterwards, Barna and Norma get scolded. Right, for not doing their job. I think this is when Barney dies at some point. Because I think that happens before Barney dies. Because afterwards, it looks like Fingers leaves. But in fact, he doesn't. And instead, he rigs it so that the chandelier would fall and kill Barney, turning him into a ghost. Barney goes through the 5 stages of depression. Almost is ready to move on. but at the last minute decides not to. Right, they're able to get him back in his body. I like, speaking of those two, I like the girl whose name I'm forgetting, and Logs. I like how they get more time in these episodes. Right, they spend more time with them. Because, right, like, they were mostly background characters. They had some appearances, right, as Barney's crush and, well, Norma's crush. She starts off as a podcast host at the start of the second season. But they do get a lot more screen time in this. Not, like, an insane amount, but definitely more. So I like all of them. And I like that, yeah, the show does give them more screen time, respectively. But it eventually... is it at the end of that episode where Fingers kidnaps... Is there something either at the end of that episode after they save Barney, or it's the next... No, it must be at the end of that episode. Fingers kidnaps Pugsley and takes him up to floor 4, which is the Angel Prison. So they end up making their way up to the Angel Prison. They end up getting captured and sent to Angel Prison. But right before Pugsley was able to give Barney his hat, which contains all of his magic power. So, originally, they're trying to, like, extract the power out of Pugsley, or, force him to use his power. Because whoever's in charge of Fingers has, like, greater plans for Pugsley. Because he's, like, the strongest sorcerer in the multiverse. Or something. It's something, like, they explain something like that. I don't remember if they explain it here or if they explain it later. But Norma and Barney end up getting arrested. They meet up with their evil twins versions. And then Courtney gets arrested as well. Because you find, when they go into because the angels in this show are like these, like, white beings that have, like, their heads are rings. Right? Instead of having, like, rings on top of their head, like halos, their heads are halos. But they can crack. And we find out that Courtney isn't a demon, but a fallen angel. Someone whose horn has cracked. So that's a reveal that, to be fair, I saw coming. The second they mentioned that no other demon looks like Courtney, I was like, okay, Courtney's an angel then. That's the only possible explanation. And yeah, sure enough, Courtney is an angel. Courtney leads an angel rebellion. Because the fallen angels, instead of being destroyed, they now man, like, what's basically the tree of life. They're like fates, right? They determine the fates of man and men alike. We find out they've been using the fates to manipulate Pugsley to make him, right, the most powerful sorcerer. Because the twist is, Pugsley is the Watcher, right? The angel who's been, right, just a pain in their side this whole time. Yep, that's Pugsley, all right. It's a great reveal. It's because you reveal the helmet is what they're going to use to manipulate Pugsley. So that's a good reveal in and of itself, right? I like that. So I like that reveal. And then, Barney's eventually able to break all the demons out of jail. They're all more or less able to escape. But Barney, tries to run away from the Watcher, and to do that, he travels back in time. Because he's got all of Pugsley's powers, and Pugsley has time travel. So this is where we get that bit I was with Barney and the Fez that I saw earlier. Yeah, it's because it's a future Barney who traveled back in time to, try to convince Pugsley to use his powers for his own. Eventually, Barney is able to remind Pugsley of who he really is. And they go back to the moment, like, when Barney first met Pugsley, and how just scared Pugsley is of the Watcher. Great little moment. Great little moment there. All around. Really solid stuff. And, yeah, eventually a bunch of shit happens that I'm clearly forgetting. But the Watcher eventually breaks, they eventually they escape with all the demons. They go down. Fingers follows them back to the human realm. Because they get the feeling that, right, the angel, right, while the demons... Because the angels want to stop the demons out of fear of them, like, destroying the world or whatever. Right? Because they can't rule Earth, and that if the demons are allowed to rule over Earth, right, eventually the Watcher will stop them, but it will destroy Earth in the process. Okay, let's do this thing, shall we? I've got a good weapon. God damn it. I was between a rock and a hard place there. I gotta get... Oh, you know, I really should use my... I gotta get to those things. Oh, shit. He'd already thrown it. Okay, I gotta focus on this for a second. Come on, just... Stop trying to hit me and hit me. Where is he? Oh my god, I hate the steel eels. We're doing okay. I really could... Okay, I'm gonna lay into him. Not enough. Nope. We got decent damage into him, but just not enough. Oh, and missing those 2 shots. Ugh. We weren't gonna do it, even if he had hit those 2 shots. Koozuna is just so hard on higher levels, man. I legitimately can't remember. I don't think I've beaten him in, since like the 2nd week the game was out. He's just so strong and so hard to beat. He has so much fucking health. Honestly, it's such a pain in the ass. And I've never seen a gold shell. I know gold shells exist, and you have like a 1% chance of getting them. I've still never seen one. We'll do like one more. So yeah. What happens is, Fingers has them all captured, right? He's able to use his weird, like, tentacle growth stuff that we see the first time we see him. And he's able to capture them all. Barney gets captured, Pugsley shows up, puts on the Watcher hat. But the Watcher's, right, future Pugsley stops him. And in order to stop Pugsley from becoming the Watcher, Pugsley sacrifices himself. And that basically guarantees, right, that Fingers will fail. And there's like some greater angel thing that like Fingers is a part of, and whoever's his boss is chops him off and he just becomes a shriveled up hand. But yeah, it ends with Pugsley's death, which would be a really great moment if it wasn't for the fact that the final like bit of the episode is Pugsley, and yeah, he may still be alive. I honestly feel like it would have been stronger if they had just stuck to their guns. And who knows, maybe he'll just... I mean, we know ghosts are real, right? We know all that. So who knows where it's going to go from here. But, because right, I mentioned last time that I know, right, at the end of every episode they say based on a book. And so I looked up that book, which I'm pretty sure is a graphic novel. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll see if I can get a copy. Yeah, turns out I cannot find a copy. Well, one, it was never released digitally, as far as I can tell, which that sucks. There's only, like, not that many, like, everything releases digitally, but every once in a while you find something that's only physically released. But yeah, it's only ever been released physically. And, as far as I can tell, there aren't that many copies of it. Like, when I went to find a copy, even a used one, they were all sold out. That could be part of, the show is popular, so of course people are buying up copies. But yeah, I could not find a physical copy of... I think I can find because there's 2 books. And which I think is the 2 seasons of the show so far. I could find a physical copy of the second season, of the second book. But not the first book. And that kind of sucks, because I really did look for it. Oh, you were right there. So yeah, I looked for that, but you know, so from here on out, I mean, if the second season's all the stuff that happened in the second book, if they get another season, well, anything's possible from here. But right, the ending, right, Pugsley's dead, and Norma, meanwhile, goes down to the underworld to meet Demolucas and the sister, and is like, they hurt us, I want to hurt them. That's great. That's a great fucking moment. Also, I mentioned, because Pugsley keeps getting visions of, like, the end of the world, and there's, like, this glowing ring of fire, and you find out that's not the end of the world, but instead it's the Watcher's Ring, which is very well done as well. That's a great little moment. Because, right, it's something that's constantly getting built up throughout the season, that he keeps seeing this, like, ring of fire. That's the end of the world. But yeah, so I think the season ends very strong, right? They're going to war with the angels. Because, right, the demons have all been very nice to them. They're not all perfect, mind you, but they've been very nice. Oh my god, I can't believe the software crashed. Holy shit. Wow. That's the second time that's happened. But yeah, I don't even know why I'm booting it back up. We're going to play for like 5 minutes. I think it was Dead End Paranormal Park is a very good show that is very well made. I recommend it. I do recommend it. It's very good. But yeah, I like everything that has to do with right. I just completely lost my train. I was gonna say something. It's just a very well made show, you know. Fun characters, a fun setting. You know, they definitely do experiment with some things, but, you know, that's good. That's... Oh, fuck. I meant to do the other one. I didn't mean to do ranked battle. Shit. I did not mean to do... I meant to do open, not series. Crap. Oh, fuck. I go watch, if you know, I'm surprised I still have Netflix. Honestly, I know Netflix is trying to switch itself over to a Game Pass style service, and you know, maybe that'll work out. But honestly, it has a better chance than Google. And who the fuck uses Amazon Luna? But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed Dead End. I'm glad I watched it. You know, for just seeing a few people recommend it on Twitter, I'm really glad I sat down and watched it, right? And I said the same thing about Centaur World. Few people recommended it on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch this. I need to do the same thing with Bee and Puppy Cat, because that was the same thing. I mean, to be fair, I remember the original from way back in the day. But when the show came out on Netflix, a bunch of people were recommending it, and I was like, yeah, I shouldn't I? So I guess that takes us to the outro. Are you ready to see me completely fuck this up? Oh my god. Oh fuck. I don't think I've ever done a series battle on stream before. There's a reason, because I have to focus on this. Fuck, I did not want to do series. I know you're somewhere around here. Oh my god. I mean, I got a 3 kill right there. That's not bad. But they still got the Rainmaker. Ah, shit. I don't want to be the one to take it, but okay. Don't make me take the Rainmaker. Deal with that. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I did not want to be the one to take the Rainmaker. I do not when I can avoid not taking the Rainmaker, I will not take it. I do not like taking the Rainmaker. It's not for me. I don't even know. Oh, we're one man down. Oh, shit. I didn't even realize that. I was wondering where the rest of my team was. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I was like, I felt like we were missing somebody. But I hadn't even looked until just that moment. Oh my god. Oof. Oh, it was the wave breaker that got me. Okay. Yeah, we're fucked. And watch it count against us. I don't know. I've seen the game do stupid shit like that. Right? I've been disconnected and it says, oh, when someone disconnects, it does not hurt your score. And then it still hurts my score. Oh, you went over this way. Okay. Where'd you go? Shit, man. We're fucked. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised it even... Because I think this is like the second time ever I've had a match where a player disconnected. And it actually, like, you know, it kept going. Most of the time, a player disconnecting is the end of it, right? It will automatically end the match. I'm just trying to get far with it. We're fucked. Honestly, I'm just gonna be honest. We're screwed. There's nothing. There's nothing I can do here. I mean, I'm sure there's something, but, like, I don't give enough of a shit to actually do anything. I'm just trying to get the kills I can. Okay, I don't know how that kill didn't work. Whatever. I don't know. They're still able to make good progress, even with, like, even when, like, we've got, like, a few of them out. I feel like they've made good numbers progress. Oh god, yeah. I know all it takes is 3 wipes out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, please don't count that. I'm gonna be pissed if that counts that against me. So she cost me God. I wanted to do an open battle. I didn't want to do a series. Fuck. That's A rank for you. "17 kills. I mean, 10 deaths, yeah. Let's pause the series. Nope, didn't count against me. Good. Yeah, I wanted to do tower control. Shit, I didn't even... Ah. Whatever. Whatever. I don't know. I haven't been all over the place, but it's been a weird night, that's for sure. Wait. Is that always there? I don't feel like that's always there. Yeah, I don't feel like that's all. Is that there every time? Do I just... Have I just always run over that? I don't remember. Whatever. Let's go look at Meaver's comments. You know, I felt like if... Honestly, if we had had our fourth team member, we might have actually been able to do okay there. I felt like I started off doing great. Hydrate, please. Next week... Oh my god, the Mew under the truck. There was a My Nintendo reward where they were doing the Pokemon keychains. That was cute. There was also a shirt, but the shirt was only in Japan. That kind of sucks. Oh, Mystery Dungeons Explorers of Time / Darkness / Sky. God, I love that game. I've never been able to get into any of the other Mystery Dungeons, but I like that one. Like, I have the Switch one, never even touched it. To be fair, I think I got it for like $15 because I found it was like a price error or something. Come on. You will do what I want. I hope Dead End Paranormal Park gets a third season. I don't think anything's been announced yet. I hope it gets a third season. Oh, it does not. Looks like they fixed it. I know there was a glitch with where you could infinitely re-roll with salty sea snails, and I know for a fact they fixed it in the 1.2 update, which sucked because I never took advantage. I had like 3 weeks to take advantage of it, and I just never did. So now if I want good gear, I gotta earn it legit. As far as I know, the gear re-rolls still work the same way. Right? That if you get the 2 re-rolls... But still, I don't think that helps. Yeah, without infinite rerolls, no, I don't think that helps. Taking cephalopods. Grass cat. Weed cat. Weed cat. God, I would love to make... Oh, wait, look, it's little Bub. He's sleepy. Can't wait to walk down there for the wedding DLC. Because that's where it's going to be, down there. Just makes sense. Yeah, that'd be funny. Either up there, or either down there, at the very top of the staircase up there. That would also be funny. Oh, there's some decent art. So next week will be the Splatfest. So, of course, we'll be doing the Splatfest. Team Grass, you know. See, look, there's even my boy Sprigatito on the back. Again, that's how I chose my team. Not... Because, again, I'm perfectly balanced in all 3. I mean, to be fair, I used to be pro-water. Like I said, most of my starters used to be water. But I just don't like Mudkip and Totodile anymore. I don't like Oshawott anymore either, right? Like, I used to like them, but they just don't do it for me anymore. Gato, Gato, Gato. Oh my god, if I had any artistic talent, I would do that. The dick figures. Gato, Gato, Gato. That would be funny. God, I have no artistic talent. I also wish I had, like, a stylus or something. Gato, Gato, Gato. I doubt, for some reason, I doubt that series holds up. There's no way it does. It's just... Finger. Whatever. So, yeah, so next week we'll be back for the Splatfest. I will say, on the YouTube channel, on the main channel, I did upload... Right, I was talking earlier about how I'd been watching Nuzlocke. How my addiction at the moment had been Nuzlocke. And I was like, I kind of want to play my own Nuzlocke. But I was like, that's a terrible idea. So instead, I went and found my old stream of the Nuzlocke, which I still had, back in like April. Right? That's how long ago it was. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to highlight this into like I'm going to make a highlights video out of this. See, it'd be really funny if they added like a little thing right here for the DLC. And that's how Ian, like, you shot up into the sky to do it. That'd be really funny. Just put it way back here. But yeah, I was like, you know, I'm just going to, instead of, to crave my Nuzlocke urge, I'm going to remind myself why it was a terrible idea. So I went through and I took that, like, what was it, like a 2-hour stream, and edited it down into like 20 minutes. So tomorrow on the main YouTube channel, there will be a 20-minute video of me, you know, playing through Pokemon Sword and Shield and just absolutely botching the Nuzlocke. Just absolutely ruining things. So look forward. Again, it was a stream back in April, but you can see the 20-minute highlights that'll be up. Again, in theory, I would love to do 20-minute highlights like every week. I would just like to get a new one out. But that's not going to happen, right? If I was making money off YouTube, probably, yes. Like, I would find the motivation to do that. Like, right, but like, right now with like, just not making anything, and right, actually having like a job that pays money and stuff, I kind of have to put more time and effort into that. And then I can do in chat, because it's what, 2 hours? I mean, okay, sometimes it's 4, but it's 2 to 4 hours, except for last week. But right, and it's much easier to justify, like, oh, you know, I'm playing video, I'm doing nothing anyways, I can sit down and do that for a few hours. That's not bad at all. Plus, I have COVID. Like, what the fuck else am I going to do right now? Like, seriously, what else am I going to be doing right now? And, you know, I can mostly function. I mean, I did fine tonight. Oh, God. I am ready to go to bed, though. Oh, we got the Clash Blaster. Oops. Supposedly, this is better now. Supposedly, yeah, but giving it Splat Bombs and Trizuka made it a better weapon. We don't have the Gootuber yet? Really? God, I should have been level 30 by now. It's just because I don't play the game enough, and I don't play enough series. That's really it. If you want to level up, if you want to rank up, you have to play series. Open just does not give you enough points. Which I think is actually a problem. Like, they really should do a balance patch update that makes open. Series gives a good amount of points, but open should give more points and more XP. There's literally no reason to do open unless you're just, you know, playing with like friends or whatever, or for fun. If you want to level up, there's literally no reason to do it. And there's no reason to play Turf Battle whatsoever. The only reason I do it is because it's less stressful than than Ranked. Or Anarchy now, I guess. Yeah. Okay, I've been stalling for like fucking 20 minutes at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna end off. So yeah, we'll be next week for the Splatfest, Team Grass all the way, and then the week after that's Pokemon. And you better believe I have some things planned for Pokemon. I might do something on Election Day. I mean, it would be funny for us to do Democratic Socialism Simulator, but I don't think that game's on... God, that'd be funny if it was on Switch. God, if that game was on Switch, I would buy it and we'd do that. But I have it on PC, but I can't actually like stream it because my computer would explode. Yeah. So with that, that's where we're ending off. I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.